Just me today. Just talk to you guys about a volume that I've been reading, and Elden Ring Volume 2. Reread this one because I wasn't fresh up on it, and Volume 2 came out recently. I was like, hey, go ahead and get a video out on it. I think many people find this interesting. I don't know if I've seen anyone talking about it. I haven't done much searching around on the internet for it, besides just looking when the next volumes come out. So, series is called The Wolf Never Sleeps. Pretty good. Pretty good first volume. I'd give it a 7. Introduced the world pretty well, but I think it's pretty fast paced. It gets straight into the action, and there's not really any character development throughout it at all. I know first volume normally is setting up the world, but if you're going that fast paced when you're setting up, I feel like some character development should be shown, or at least just anything about the character. Like his backstory is a complete mystery. His name's Lincoln. He's an adventurer, and the story sets itself up with it started where him and his partner are in a dungeon, and all throughout the world there's different dungeons that people explore, and every few decades or so there's an event where a black world shows up in one of these dungeons, and the adventurers who go in, and it takes them to a different world, who end up making it back always receive a lot of power, a lot of riches, and it's every adventurer's dream is how it's kind of implied to find this world in the world while they're exploring these dungeons. The series captivated me a little bit because it does have like a feel of like a dungeon crawler, kind of like if you played Skyrim or any games that really have a use of like dungeon crawling and use of mana and things like that. Elden Ring is a newer game like that, and the use of skills really intrigues me. It's like it's not something that is hidden away. Everybody knows about the skills, and there's different people who can imbue different objects with certain enhancements like mana gain, health gain, strength augmentation. So the world's kind of really heavy towards like an RPG game. I think is very cool, and if you guys like that type of thing, I think you guys could probably gravitate to it if you play this type of video games and you like manga. This is one that blends them pretty well together. The illustrations, the art is done by Shinkawa. Gonbi Shinkawa. He does a great job at drawing it. Well, he or she, I don't really there, but they do a great job at drawing the fights, drawing the action. Is overall, it's a really good volume. Like I said, 7 out of 10. I guess I'll get into some spoilers. So you did click on, you don't want to be spoiled. If you're interested by what I told you, go ahead and click off. Thanks for watching. But the spoilers, I would say, him and his friend, I can't remember his name. I think it's like Boyd, something like that. They end up going into this black world because they just defeat a monster in the dungeon, and it pops up. And his friend's like, "So, what do you want to do?" He says, "We go in." Lincoln says, "We go in," and they both go in, but they go in, I'm pretty sure, together, touching each other, but they are separated. And Lincoln wakes up. He's like, "Hey, I don't know how long I've been asleep, but it's been a while since I slept that long." He's in a world with um a world that he's never been to. That's why I think it's a different dimension, but it doesn't really specify. So he goes to this different world, and when he wakes up, he uses his skill. Can't remember the exact name of it. It's kind of like a radar, and humans pop up as red, and monsters like mana sites are inside every monster. It's on the opposite side of your chest from their heart, and it's if they pop up as blue, if I'm not mistaken. And the bigger the mana site, the bigger they pop up on the map, and he can use it comfortably at certain ranges. But if he wants to insert himself a little bit, he can use farther ranges. And he finds out that there are two that pop up. So he chases it down, and then he sees two human ones pop up. But the way that it pops up for humans is you have to have some sort of mana with inside you, because humans don't have mana sites, but you can still sense their mana through it. And that's how they pop up on the skill. And he sees these two pop up when he finds the monster, and it's a carriage. And there's a guy on a horse next to the carriage, and he's kind of confused because he's not popping up on it. So come to find out that humans in the world, they have mana, but it's very, very faint. But in that world, even there's things such as mages, and same as I was talking about the other people that can do certain things that really remind you of an RPG game. So he helps them, and the young lady, I think she's the princess, invites him to the house. But the big problem is they don't understand each other's language, and that creates the opportunity for the author to promote a time skip. So you don't have to sit there and learn just to him learn languages. Read about it. So it's a 1 year time skip, and he learned the language. The language barrier is not really. And everybody the estate that this princess lives on is very. They become really close with Lincoln. They think of him as a friend, a protector, because he does do a lot of guard duty. Does and the princess' name ends up being she likes him when he calls. I don't remember her full name, but Lincoln has to call her Ruby. That's what she prefers. So I'm gonna fast forward just because I don't want to spoil the whole thing. Still think you should go give it a buy and read it. You can't find it online. We probably could, but I'm not into finding it like from like sites that shouldn't have it illegally. So $15, you got a local Barnes and Noble near you bookstore that sells manga. This one should be in there, and it's a great read. If you want to know what happens at the end of the volume, they end up swapping necklaces. I don't want to spoil what that does, but that changes Lincoln's capabilities a little bit. But with the switch, and then he does end up leaving the estate because Ruby gets married. And where I'm at in the second volume, Lincoln's kind of just back to being an adventurer, just in a different land. He's still trying to find his friend as of right now, and trying to get back home. Is what it kind of implies. I don't know for sure if he's trying to get back home, but from what I can tell, he's trying to get back home just after he explores the world. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was a little bit shorter video. Be sure to check out other videos. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have any things you want to talk about or want us to talk about. We're always in the comments, finding the people. So go ahead and catch us on the next one. And thank you guys for hanging out. See ya.